I will be a millionaire by 37 years old is what I said in my first video on this channel. In that video, I laid out my goals and what I hope to accomplish over the next 5 years. Also in that video, I told y'all that I'd be showing you my progress month by month, quarter by quarter, year by year, until we hit it, or until we get as close as we can until time runs out. So without too much yapping, we're going to go ahead and jump into the spreadsheet. And what we'll be going over is all my June expenses, all my financial goals, my investments, my net worth update, and then a whole overview of everything to see where we are 2 months after starting this channel and what we have to look forward to hit that $1 million net worth goal. So let's get into it. All right, here we are in the spreadsheet. I'm gonna have all the numbers up for the rest of the year. I did just start this a month ago, so everything you see is kind of like retroactively done. Some numbers, if they are consistent over multiple months, that is because I'm just assuming based on the most recent months that it was fairly linear or the same in the past. But we will be doing this every month, so everything from here forward should be accurate and as of the first of the month. And I'm obviously filming this on the 2nd. It'll be going out on the 3rd. Quick turnaround, but we will go ahead and get into June. So the first category we have here in June is income. We'll be going over my work income first. I brought in $7,758. Next, investment income. This was from my Robinhood's high yield savings account. Whatever it is, I think it's like 3.35%. So I treat it as a high yield savings account, and that is the interest payment I received for the month of June. And as you can see in the previous months, I've been adding more and more to that savings account. So my interest goes up as it should. Next, we have other income, $142.50. This is kind of, I'm cooking the books a little because that is just income I received from sports betting, even though you'll see how much I put into it later. It's illegal in my state, but I traveled out of state and had a little bit of fun. So next we have housing. This is going to remain consistent. The mortgage is $1046, and then my home insurance is $303.65 per month. I don't pay property taxes, and there were no repairs or maintenance done this month of June. Next, we have utilities. This is what surprised me. Definitely track your stuff because, you know, people talk about electricity rates going up, gas rates, water, everything. I think this is a really great view, even though it's seasonal. It gives you a good perspective of the direction things are headed. First, we have electric. I'm in the south and the summer is here. Trust me, it's like 82 degrees in this room right now. There's not much I can do but keep the AC running. So in June, it went up just a little bit, but I can already tell you I received the bill for the next month and it is high and it's just gonna skyrocket from there. Next, we have gas. That one's gone down. Gas for me, as you can see in March, it was $400. During the winter, we run our heat off gas. And during the summer, the AC is obviously electric and we use less gas. We only use it to heat the water. Next, we have trash that remains consistent, even though it did look like it jumped up in February, probably just new yearly rates. Next, water, $26, sewer, $32. Taxes, that's just the tax I pay on the utility bill, which can be ridiculous. Like, as you can see, it was $38.88 in a previous month. That's annoying. Internet bill, that remains consistent at $52. And phone bill, $61.47. As you can see in January and February, the bill was higher. I went ahead and paid off everything so that it is just the service I am paying for. And with all that said, utilities, internet, phone, and of course, everything you need for a house, the total was $377.17 for the month of June, which is lower. Actually, it's the lowest I've had all year. So that's nice. But like I said, we're going up next month. Moving on to transportation. This is another big one. Once you put it down on a sheet, as you can see, I average about $1,400 a month for transportation, but we will go through that now. So car payment, I do have a car loan out that we will see in the net worth. I pay $505.95 a month on it, and it is a good rate that I got on it. It's only 2.99% for 36 months. So I'm keeping the money and not paying off that loan that you'll see later because I earn more interest in the high yield savings than paying that off. But I've also been battling now with the option to just get rid of it. But as for now, I just plan on keeping it. Next, we have fuel. I only spent $54 last month in gas. I work from home from right here most of the day, so I really don't get out and do much. Car insurance, $221. That's for both me and my wife. That's not the worst, but I really wish insurance rates would go back down. Next, sailboat storage. I do own a sailboat, and it is currently high and dry. It's out of the water, and that is the storage fee we pay monthly. And even if we get it into the water, we're going to have this expense. So, I mean, it is what it is. And for the rest of the transportation category, we didn't pay for parking, and there was no maintenance done to either of my vehicles. So the subtotal for the month of June was $1,329, which is lower than normal. Next, we have the food category. And here is when we're going over my monthly expenses and growing my net worth, there are areas that I'm identifying as places where I could really tighten up and make the progress much quicker, add more to my savings. And I think the food category is definitely number one on my list to actually just like lock in and cut stuff out of. Normally, I have $200 budgeted for groceries, and I'm not too consistent with spending that, whether it's on the low end or high end. In June, I spent $324 at restaurants, $254, and that's kind of skewed because, like I said, I went out of state. I ate out a couple of times because, you know, when you're in a hotel, what else are you gonna do? And then the corner store is my arch nemesis. I spend so much money at corner stores. This is just like a gas station. I need to cut this out. I have changed the budget to $40 at a corner store, and my goal is that you will see that I remained in budget for July. That is my goal. Cut out corner stores. They are the bane of my existence. With that being said, the food category was $719 when I have $340 budgeted. That is over, and I really need to fix that. For debt payments, I don't have any. We have credit card. I pay that off monthly. Don't have student loans. I don't have personal loans. And then the vehicle loan is accounted for in the transportation category. So nothing there. And then we move on to health and wellness. In June, I did go to the doctor. I had a couple of tests done, and that was $112 because insurance doesn't do much to help out, as we all know. So the subtotal for health and wellness in June was $112, but I should be good for at least a few months here. I may throw the dentist in a couple of months. Next, we have personal and lifestyle. This is going to be, as you can see, shopping, subscriptions, and everything. So in the month of June, for shopping, I spent $1,025, which is what? $900 over what I have budgeted. But I will justify that in saying I got new clothes like this for my work trip. And then I also bought equipment for a home gym. So I'm not paying a gym membership. I have weights and everything in the front room, and it just makes everything more convenient. And since I'm sitting all day, it keeps me healthier. It's an upfront expense. It does throw off the budget this month, but everything should be back to normal next month, and it goes towards my health. Next, we have subscriptions, $66.47. This is just YouTube stuff and YouTube creation stuff, so stuff for my videos. I will probably be cutting out some other stuff here in the future. Entertainment, $420. That is completely gambling on sports. And when I said back at the income, I only won 140, spent 420. Kids, don't gamble. Next, we have personal care. I got a haircut before my trip. That was $30. And pets was right on budget at $137. I have $150 for that. This will rarely go over. If I get my dog some more bones than normal, I might go $13 over. So we spent $1,500 in personal and lifestyle. That will be improved. And I mean, yeah, it is what it is, like I said. Next, we have savings and investing. This is the meat and potatoes. This is what I like to see. I will do everything I can to manage my budget so that I can invest or save more, right? In the month of June, I was able to save $2,200, which is consistent with the last 2 months. So I do this at the end of the month. You think yesterday I transferred more, and that'll show up in the July account. But Yeah, 2200, keeping it consistent. It's going up. I did do more in July, but we will see that next month. The last category is giving and miscellaneous. That's either charitable tithes, gifts, miscellaneous. I didn't have any in June. So as we can see, total expenses were $5,431. Next is net income, which is income minus expenses. We end up with $2,592. I was able to save $2,200 of that. So my total savings rate for the month of June is 32.3%, which I'm happy with. I do want to see that up near 40%, but that requires cutting out the corner store. All right, so moving on to the investments. Here, this page is going to be pretty empty. Right now, I'm saving for a house. So all my money is going into the high yield savings account, which is Robinhood. That's because I don't want to be saving all my money and then investing it, and then the market go down 10% when I need that money to purchase a house. That would not be good. So I'm going with a safe bet at 3.35%. But this is an idea of what it'll look like once we get that ball rolling down in the future. You would have your ticker here and a bunch of calculations with the shares, share amount, average cost, etc. As I said, coming in the future, I will have my 401k with the company match and then set up a Roth IRA so that I can max that out yearly. TSP, I do have this from my time in the military. It's my thrift savings plan. It was much higher, but I did have to take money out. I did never do it. Never do it. I will probably preach it in several videos. Never pull money from your retirement, but things happen. If it happens, it happens. Try to move on, recalculate, and get it back up as high as you can. Unfortunately, I can no longer contribute to the TSP unless I work for the government, I believe. So that is sitting at $12,771. It is doing very well as the market is. And yeah, just sit here and watch it grow, I guess. And then next, traditional IRA. We'll get all that set up in the future, but this is where we're sitting right now. Next, we have financial goals in progress. My emergency fund is already at 100%. I have $24,000, which is 6 months of expenses at $4,000. I'm not too far off from that, especially if I cut out the corner stores. So we've already completed that goal. Next is the down payment for the home. I want to have $100,000 saved for that. And currently we're at about the same as the emergency fund, $24,003. We have about $76,000 remaining to hit that target. And as of a couple days ago, we have a year to do it. So hopefully we can get there. And that is about all for that. So let's move on to the net worth ledger, what everyone's here for. What is my net worth at the age of 32 years old? Here we are at the net worth ledger. As I've said, I've gone back and retroactively done this for the full year. So if we get a little sneak peek, we know that my net worth is around $175,000. We've steadily grown over the months, almost nearly $10,000 a month. So let's see what June did for us. First, we're going to have my current checking account is $3,055. Savings is $0. I moved that out because I don't like my checking account getting too low. So I pulled that out. It's doing nothing sitting in that savings account. But the emergency fund, as we know, is at $24,000. High yield savings, again, is at $24,003. And then we got TSP, as we've seen. Next, sailboat value. Now, I do include, as you will see here, my cars in my net worth because cars are depreciating assets. Assets. To me, it counts. I can sell those cars and get value out of them. Until I total the car and it is worth nothing, it has a value and I can extract that value. But it is hard to quantify the sailboat value. It is worth what somebody will pay for it. I paid more than 30. I think 30 is the safe estimate. So I'm keeping it there until probably at the end of this year. I might drop it down. I don't know. It depends on what the boat market does. Next, we have my RAV4. The value of that has depreciated from the previous months. It is now worth roughly $27,000. My Tacoma, surprisingly, and this is Kelley Blue Booked, so you know it's only worth what someone will pay for it. But they're telling me the value went up about $1,000. So there's that. Love it when Toyota holds their value. That's why I got them. Next, home value. Now this is from Zillow. Same caveat with every other thing on here. The house is worth what someone will pay for it. The housing market is currently going back down. It's kind of rounding out. Interest rates are remaining high. Home values keep increasing. People are having a harder time selling their property. So this is just an estimate. And if you look at the history of this, in January, Zillow literally said it's worth 170, then 171, then it jumped to 179, and then $10,000 month over month, and then $3,000 month over month, and another $5,000. So it's like they calculate that by doing comparables in the neighborhood. Springtime, summer is a time for houses to sell. So comparables probably sold at higher prices, but that is not a guarantee. I do not expect this, but it is a good mark to keep an eye on, and it gives us our estimated net worth. Currently, assets, I have about 359 roughly $1,000 in assets. Now, let's move to the liabilities, which I have two of, and that is the auto loan, which currently is $11,295. As I said, I could just wipe this out, but at a 2.99%, why do that? I will just keep paying on it until, I get tired of it and just wipe it out. And next, we have my mortgage. Now, I am paying the absolute minimum. I will be selling this house in a year. I'm just not going to be very aggressive with it. So it goes down roughly $200 a month. And over 30 years, I'm sure it would be $300,000 in interest. We can calculate it, but there's no need to. With that being said, my liabilities are $176,537 for a total net worth of $182,396 with an increase month over month of $7,160. That is where I currently sit on my road to $1 million in 5 years. As I've said, a lot of this is, dependent on the person. I know some people don't count their vehicles, and some people count, expensive things they have in their house. As you can see behind me, maybe, I do have a collection of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and the market value for all that is probably around $10,000 to $15,000, but I'm not including that because I don't really consider that an asset. It is something I enjoy doing. I have collected them, but I'm not going to add that to my net worth. Let me know down below, do you consider your vehicle an asset, and should I continue to count it towards my net worth? I want to know what y'all think. And while you're down there, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to help this channel grow so we can see this progress to $1 million in 5 years.